Hello everyone and namaste. So guys, to support your DevOps culture, we have different set of tools will be there. These tools are nothing but these tools are called your DevOps tool will be there. Like your version control tool, your integration tool, your build tool will be there, your containerization will be there, your orchestration tool will be there, your configuration management tool will be there, your monitoring tool will be in place, right? So why we need these tools, right? To become a DevOps engineer, to support the DevOps culture, guys. Correct? So just try to understand each and every tool. I am going to explain you each and every tool like a brief, and then I'll be taking you through in the upcoming session each and every tool in depth with full hands-on experience. Correct, guys? So what do you mean by this version control tool? So this version control tool is nothing but it's going to maintain different versions of the code. What does that mean? The different versions of the code. It doesn't mean that a developer is developing a code, he has to maintain different version of that code. No, if he is working on a module, if he is designing a login page, for that he is writing the code. So it is like how, just try to understand this one, guys. Okay, so if today he comes to his work, he started coding. So do you think one day he'll complete the work? No, right? So he'll left the work and again the next day he'll come. He'll start the work from where he's left the work, right? So the day one when he left the work, that is called your version V1. And the second day when he left the work, that is called your version V2. And the next day he'll come and he'll start from where he ended up, right? That is called your version V3. So in future or in current situation also, if he makes any modification or any deletion also, so this tool has the capability to switch it to any version. So being a DevOps engineer, you need to create a workspace for the developer, or you need to create the repository for the developer where he is going to keep up his work in different versions. So if he wants to jump into the version V1, he should be able to jump into the version V1. He should be able to jump into the version V2. He should be able to see the work which he has done on V2, on day 2. Guys, are you understanding my point? This is what the capability and ability of this version control tool. So guys, just try to understand, irrespective of the tools. Okay, this version control tool, suppose today Git and GitHub is there. Git is nothing but this is your local repository. GitHub is nothing but this is your global repository or your public repository. Correct? So the thing is, just try to understand this one, why we were doing all this thing. So if this developer is keeping the work, he is making the modifications in day 1, day 2, day 3. So he should be able to access, he should have the privilege to get all the versions at any point of time. And when he pushes his work to this global repository, that is your GitHub, that is to your public cloud. So the developer which is sitting on Singapore or Ohio, he should be also able to get the same work. That is the job of your DevOps engineer, to create a workspace or to create a repository for the developer where he can maintain different versions of the code. Correct, guys? So are you able to understand? So as of now, this version control tool are like Git, GitHub and SVN are there. So just understand, the more thing is, you don't know what is the new tool will be coming tomorrow. Maybe it will be GitHub, but the concept will be same. So if you understand the concept, then you will become a DevOps engineer. You need to support, you need to adapt that DevOps culture. So now the next tool is what? The next tool is your integration tool. What is this integration tool? This integration tool is nothing but this is like your centralize of all the tool. The name itself suggests it's going to integrate all the other tools. This tool has the capability, this tool has so much capability, functionalities and features. It's not only going to fetch the code from your version control tool and it's going to deploy this code, okay, to your containers. That is what the ability, this is tools, that is what we were talking about called CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuous deployment. It has the ability to do the testing also, to do the testing, and once the testing is done, the job is, this tool is to deploy that code of that tar file and war file into your containers on top of your servers. Containers are nothing but these are your servers. So if I'll talk more into this integration tool, it's nothing, just understand, it's like your heart, pump in, pump out, pump in, pump out. What is the job of a heart? Pump in the blood and pump out the blood to different organs of your body, like heart, kidney, liver, your brain. Same way here also, it will fetch the code from your version control tool. Okay, it will automate the jobs, and finally it is going to deploy those particular application.tar file and war file into your containers on top of your containers. Containers are nothing but that are your servers, guys. Are you getting my point? Are you able to understand my point, guys? So this particular integration tool is your Jenkins. So Jenkins is what you know. Jenkins, it was already there before. The Jenkins was there from past 17 years. In 2011, they have given the name of Jenkins. But before it was named it as a Hudson. It was there. But it is only for the development guys. Now it is available for everyone. Everybody knows if you become a DevOps engineer, if you adapt a DevOps culture, you need to tell the industry, yes, I am a DevOps engineer. I know all these tools. So just try to understand once the integration, what is the job of this integration tool, right? It will fetches the code and it will do the entire testing, and it will give it to whom? It will give it to this build tool. Just understand this build tool. What is the job of this build tool? So this build tool is nothing but it's going to pack or it's going to make a package of the codes. Like in Windows, if you go here, if I can show you in Windows, what is this VLC media player? This is an also open application or a software. But when you get a software, this file will be in .exe file into a single package, and then you double click on this one and this particular VLC media player will install. So same way here also in Linux operating system, if you have to deploy your application, you need to make a package of your codes, bundle of your codes into a tar file or .tar file, or for example Google Pay.tar or Google Pay.war, and that particular tar file and war file application has to deploy on top of your containers. Guys, are you getting my point? Or in a layman language, if I'll tell, if you have to give to food to someone, if you want to give to food, or if you want to provide a food to someone, if you have to give rice, pulses, chapati, curry, then what you are going to do? Are you going to give that person directly? No, you need to pack it. You need to make a package, and then only you are going to give it to that person. So same way here also, this build tool is going to make a package of your codes which is coming from your integration tool for the deployment purpose on top of your containers. So that is what the job of this build tool. So like we are going to study about the Maven. This is going to support the Java technology. Ant is nothing. Ant is also a build tool. Gradle is also a build tool. But these support .NET technologies. So try to understand over here. Once you get a tar file and war file from done by this build tool, it has to deploy where? It has to be deployed on top of your servers. So now the thing is called containerization. Containerization is nothing but we have something called Docker in place. Try to understand. So earlier we have something called virtualization, guys. So from one technology is a predecessor of other technology. There is no rocket science involved over here. So if virtualization was there, what we were doing to create a virtual machine? On top of your hardware, we are going to install your hypervisor. On top of your hypervisor is what? That is just a software or application. There you are going to create a virtual machine VM. On top of that virtual machine, you are going to create you need to install your operating system. And on top of that operating system, you are going to install or you are going to install your particular application .war or tar. But that is a hell lot of a task. There will be a overhead cost involved. But when containerization is came into the picture from your virtualization, then they introduces called Docker. So here everything will be ready made. You no need to do that kind of effort. What you want in this fast paced environment, what your client is looking for, they need to speed up the work, they want the performance, they want the innovation. So when this containerization came into the picture, just try to understand containers are nothing but these are your servers. Dockers are nothing but Dockers are your containers, and containers are in a simple and very simple. It's your server, like your Nginx server, your Tomcat server, your WebLogic server. And you no need to do that much effort. What you are going to do, you are directly going to pull those images from your Docker hub of your Tomcat image, directly pull it, spin up the container, and your server is ready. Within a minute or 2 minutes, your infrastructure is ready. And what you need to do, you just need to deploy this application.war or tar file which you are getting from this build tool on top of your containers. In a simple language, Docker is nothing, it's a container, and containers are nothing but these are your servers. Guys, are you getting my point? And one technology is the predecessor of other technology. So if you understand virtualization, it is very easy to understand the containerization, guys. This is how the technology shift from one technology to the other technology. Now, if I talk more into the layman language, if I have 100 containers and I have to ship that container from Mumbai to Chennai, then how I am going to ship that container? How I am going to send those containers to Chennai? Via ship, right? I have to load all those containers to a ship and then I can send those containers Chennai, right? Then in that scenario, what you are going to do, you can see those containers are controlled by whom? Those containers are controlled by a ship. So same way here also, that is something called orchestration tool. So orchestration tool is nothing but it's going to control your containers. Guys, are you able to understand my point? So once these containers are, suppose 100 containers are running or 1000 containers are running, there should be someone to control. If a manager is going to control the employees, same way here also, those container has to control by someone. So those are nothing but that is called your Kubernetes and Docker Swarm. These are your orchestration tool, guys. Just try to understand over here. So this orchestration tool is nothing but your Docker Swarm and Kubernetes. But if you need to ask me, Abhishek, why we use these two tools, then if we have Docker Swarm in place, so the reason behind this one is this Docker Swarm is only going to support Docker containers. But what about this competitor, that is RKT? This is also a container. So again, I am telling, irrespective of your tools, you don't know when tomorrow it will be BKT. The concept should be there. If you understand the concept, things will become easy for you guys. So now coming back to the point, if you tell, because this Docker Swarm or this cluster is going to control only your Docker containers, but Kubernetes is a tool. It's a beauty. It's going to control all kind of containers. It's a Google product. Everything is indirect in Kubernetes, guys. Just try to understand. This is just an absolute tool. Nobody can beat this tool in upcoming 15 years. I'm telling you, it's a benchmark. Everything is indirect. This is highly secure tool. You have around 14 concepts in that one. How to create a pod, how to create a service pod, how to create a deployment pod, what is multi-container, what is init container, what is rollback, what is rollout, what is HPA. There are many, and we are going to create all those things by using your manifest file, guys. Hands-on absolute, I'm going to show you. Just try to understand. And you know the beauty of this Kubernetes? Suppose your Google Pay application is hit by some around 20 lakhs user or more than 20 lakhs user at a time in a second. Do you really think if you need to upgrade your Google Pay application, okay, from version V1 to V2, you are going to take a downtime of 1 minute or 1 second also? Do you really think it's going to give a how much its impact will be to the client, to the customer, to the Google Pay? So in that scenario, this Kubernetes is just an awesome tool. Without having a single nanosecond downtime, you can upgrade your version V1 to V2. Guys, really I'm telling, organizations are not getting real resource of this Kubernetes. If a guy is having more than 8 years of experience, 8+ years of experience, okay, I am telling you, this is not something I am talking imaginary. This is all based on my facts and figure. You'll easily get a job of 40 lakhs in India if you have 8+ years of experience. Just calculate that one into dollar. Even if you lose your job also, you'll get a job if you are very good in this Kubernetes. That is what this tool is. This tool is having so much ability. This is called your orchestration tool in place, guys. Now coming back to this configuration management tool. What is this configuration management tool? You know, nowadays it's called Ansible. We were talking about automation. What does that automation? So this configuration management tool is nothing but this is going to configure or to provision or to deploy your server on top of your containers. That is having the ability of this configuration management tool. Suppose your 1000 Tomcat server running or 100 Tomcat server is running. If you have to start one service or to stop shutdown.sh or startup.sh of your Tomcat server of your or it could be your Nginx server, how you are going to do that? Are you going to do that manually? No. In this fast-paced environment? No, not at all. Possible only, right? So for that, we have something called Ansible in place, guys. This is what, and in Ansible, it's not like you need to write it down so many scripts. It's a single script. It could be your playbook.yaml file. It has some set of syntax. YAML files are nothing but these are your int markup language. Those are your, it is not a scripting language. It is used for transmitting and configuring data. That's it. It has some set of syntax which you need to understand. These are like playbooks will be collection of your ad hoc commands only, which we need to put into this particular playbook, and we need to push it to the agents, to the servers. And this is how you can do in a single shot. You can start those services, you can stop those services, you can configure some files, you can deploy your 1000 Tomcat server or 100 Tomcat server into these containers. Guys, are you getting my point? Are you able to understand what I'm telling over here? So this is called your configuration management tool. And yes, there are some other tools also called Puppet, Chef and SaltStack. But again, I'm telling you, don't know today is Ansible, so tomorrow it will be Sensible. So the concept you need to understand over here. So this Ansible, if you more understand this Ansible in a layman language, like how, see, you know earlier how, where the buses were running, right? So where is the engine? In front, right? In front only the engine was there. But now the Volvo buses came into the picture. Now where is the engine now? Backside, right? So if the engine will be backside, the movability will be easy in an elevated road or in a downside road also. So means what? Push technique is better than pull technique. So that is what this Ansible does from the controller. It's going to push. That is what the ability of this configuration tool, right? Now the next thing is something called monitoring tool. What does that mean by monitoring tool, guys? Obviously, once your application is up and running and live in production environment, somebody has to monitor your application, right? You cannot wait for something to happen. If your application is hung, you cannot wait. So prevention is always better than cure, guys. Just try to understand. So you need to set up some alerts, some warning, right? To the different DLs, to the different team, or to a network team, or to a Linux server team, right? Or to a storage team, that those alerts should go to those particular team and telling, no, this particular operating system or your application or your services are not running. How you are going to do that? You need to do a proper monitoring. So for that we have different tools in place like Nagios, CloudWatch, Kibana, Prometheus. So this tool is going to do nothing but this is going to monitor your resource like CPU, your disk, your RAM, your hardware monitoring. You need all these things, right? Like if you talk normal, so if we have to watch someone, we have a surveillance, right? We have CCTV camera in place, so nobody will do wrong things. And if somebody will do wrong thing, we'll caught them. Same way here also, if your system is behaving abnormal, then what you are going to do before it's going to going to the worst situation, you should be able to prevent that. That is has ability of this monitoring tool, guys. So these all tools, and in this one, this particular monitoring tool, I am going to show you how we can do the complete configuration of your CloudWatch. It is nothing but this is a AWS service only. And I am going to also show you this Nagios full deployment end to end. So guys, these are the different tools which is going to support your DevOps culture, which I will be taking you through one by one in full hands-on. So guys, this is all about your DevOps culture, and these tools are going to support your DevOps methodology or culture. Thank you for watching this video, guys. And if you have any queries, any doubt, you can write it down back to me. Thank you.